Welcome back to the Personal Process Podcast for Season Two's premiere. We are beyond delighted to have my man, Neema Naz, a stand-up comic, an Instagram legend, and he has done a lot of amazing things in his life. He has made a very brave transition to go from university to comedy, which for those of you who don't know, if you're not Persian, that is a very big move. So with that said, Neema, is there anything that I missed? And thank you so much for coming on, sir.
Yeah, for sure, man. Thanks for having me. Personal Process Podcast. Shout out to the Personal Process Podcast for having me. My boy
Appreciate
Parham right here. Yeah, man. I'm just vlogging for anyone who's watching this or listening. I gotta get some vlog footage. You know, I'm always in content mode, so I gotta get that content. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Always gotta get it. So yeah, man. I'm happy to be here, and let's talk. Can I swear? Am I allowed to swear?
If you could keep it PG, that'd be preferred.
Okay.
But if you're gonna
I
swear,
didn't swear yet. Good thing I didn't swear yet.
You didn't swear. Thank you for asking.
I almost did.
You almost did. You.
It's cool though. Yeah.
100%. So Neema, speaking on content, one of the questions I was having, you got some great roasts on Gary Vee. Your accent's just bellissimo. I'm wondering, is Gary Vee actually someone who inspired you to take that step into comedy?
Oh no. I found out about Gary Vee way later in my comedy career, like literally in the last like 2 years, really, like not even. But I started comedy like 6 years ago, so he's definitely someone I look up to now. Like he actually is one of the reasons why I changed my life too, in a way. So yeah, he's definitely a big part of it now.
Okay, so we can't just say change your life in a way and just leave it there. So let's dive a little bit deeper into that. How do you change your life?
Just by his message, man. Like my brother and I, both of us, like we really wanted to change our lifestyles and like live a healthy lifestyle, you know, mentally and physically, and career wise. And Gary's message just really resonated with both of us in terms of actually just doing stuff, you know, going out and actually getting what you want and believing in it and just trying new things, always. And I've always been a big believer of just like going for what you want and just being confident in the decisions you make. And he kind of like just hammered all those messages into our brain over since the pandemic, pretty much, when I started to listen to him more. And I read his book, his audio book and everything, and yeah, it's crushed it, one of those. And yeah, he's just like, I don't know, every time he talks about, you know, just like being happy over making money, I really resonate with that, because I don't really care about the money. I'm here to do something I love every day for the rest of my life and not regret it at the end, you know. So in terms of that stuff, he really changed my perspective on just, you never know what's going to happen. Like literally tomorrow I could walk outside and get hit by a bus and die. Was I happy with the way I lived my life up until that point? So that's what I always think about when it comes down to, you know, Gary Vee and stuff. So yeah, he definitely changed my mindset more than anything.
That's huge, man. And one of the aspects of Gary Vee, other than the happiness, is the content creation. And the reason I'm mentioning this is because some of your roasts are on that, which is so funny. But you, Neema, I don't know how you produce so much content. And it's like all fired jokes. I swear, I go on your IG, I have to finish the whole thing. And I'm not talking stories. I'm talking like the whole feed. It gets me addicted, man. Like, how do you post so much fire and come up with that originality, man?
Well, first of all, thank you. That means a lot. And I don't know, man. I've been doing this for like 6 years now, just content in general. But like, obviously I do stand up and all that stuff too, and acting and everything. But the content, I've always just had a knack or a natural or innate ability to just want to be in front of the camera and do my own thing. And just like, I don't know, just goof off on camera. And because it started when I was in high school, and I binge watched YouTube every day, starting in like grade 8, grade 9. I would just be on that stuff every single day, watching other people do funny things. And I always looked up to those people like, wow, I wish I could do that one day. And I never really saw it as an opportunity, right, until later in my life. But yeah, I've always just kind of been gravitated towards that stuff, towards content. And I always got to do it. I can't not do it in the Gary Vee voice, you know. And so, you know, I've been doing it for so long. I've been just in the dirt for just bombing videos left and right, hundreds of videos just doing shit over the years that eventually got to a point where I finally found my voice. I got more comfortable on camera, and I started not to give uh, a shit at all at a certain point where I was like, I don't even care. I just want to be myself. I'm not going to change at all for anybody. And I really doubled down on that in the past like year and a half now, and obviously until now, the most it's ever been, just like my authentic self. And I've never been happier, man. And it's working in my favor, little by little, growing the platform slowly but surely. And it's just I know it's a slow grind. I know it's a slow process. It's a personal process,
You got
and
it.
and you have to just go at your own pace and your own path. I think that's the key right there.
Hmm.
And you should have patience. You know what I mean? Like without because like I literally see these are the trigger words that I've learned from Gary Vee. Everything I'm saying right now, it's all Gary Vee, right? And like I literally have a screen saver. I don't know if you can see that. You probably can't, but it
Patient.
says macro patience, micro speed. I have that on my phone, and it really reminds me that you know do a lot every day, but think in the macro, like think 10 years ahead, right? So that's why I pump out so much content because I'm like none of this matters. Well, no
Mm.
one cares at the end of the day. I have to really tell myself like realistically, no one gives a shit about me. Not in like a negative way, but more so just people have so much to worry about on their own lives, and they watch if they watch one of my videos within 10 minutes, they've watched 50 other posts, so they already probably forgot about mine, right? So my job is to just put as much content out there as possible, so over time, people really know, okay, this guy's actually consistently putting stuff out every single day. We can trust them. We can go to his page and there's always a video, and that's why people are more inclined to support that way, and they're more inclined to engage, which is what you want as a creator. And that way you build and build and build bigger following, and this way I can sell tickets for live shows because I have a big audience. People come to my shows to stand up. It's like a whole chain of events. It all links together, and that's it. It's just I'm always willing to do the work to get to that point.
That's huge, man. And this understanding is very mature. So my next question leads into the lessons that you've learned till now that you'd like to give back to your 18-year-old self, your 16-year-old self. I'm going to hook you up with the car from Back to the Future. We're going to go on a little ride back to little 16-year-old Nema
Nice.
before all the comedy when you were, just trying to get into university for
Yeah.
kinesiology, I believe.
Yeah.
I'm wondering what's your top 3 lessons you would give to Nema as a 16-year-old?
Stop caring what other people think. Number one, you know, and also stop judging yourself for being yourself, legit. Because so many people aren't being themselves, and those are the people who will make fun of you for being yourself. So I'd rather be myself and get made fun of. I don't care. At this point, I don't care. It's inevitable, right? It's like there's no matter how good of a person you are, how lovable, there's always people who will hate on you no matter what. So definitely, I learned if I could learn that lesson way earlier in my life, that'd be great. And also, yeah, just kind of be more confident in the decisions you make, and just take more risks.
Hmm.
Yeah, pretty much it.
So when you say be more confident, was there a time when you're 16 or around that age where I guess you kind of didn't believe in yourself? Is that why you're giving that reason?
I just didn't care about anything because there was nothing really for me to be good at or excel at. I didn't know about comedy that I could do comedy at the time, right? So I thought, oh man, this is my life. I gotta be a mediocre academic student who is decent at math and science, but I hate it. I don't like being in lectures and stuff. I don't like listening to what other people have to say, like teaching me stuff um, that I'm not interested in. And I was like, wow, I just so I lost so much confidence in myself and let go of myself too, because also with like not just in career stuff, my personal life, with girls or women or whatever, like I would never, I was always not getting the girls. So I always would like talk down on myself for being all ugly or too fat, which I was those things, but I was the negative self talk didn't help. So, but later on, I realized that just being confident in yourself, no matter what you look like, that's actually attractive. So and I figured that out at least in the past few years now. So yeah.
Right on. And kind of leading off that same train, what's your top tip for confidence? Do you think it's a fake it till you make it play, or do you think you need to get some sort of competence in an area like you have completely dominated with comedy?
I think, to be honest, for me, doing comedy helped with my confidence because uh, just seeing videos do bad online for years, doing stand up on stage, bombing for 10 minutes straight in front of silence, no one laughing at me, like with me. Um, yeah, and I mean, no, but that builds such a thick skin that honestly, rejection is like numbing to me now. I don't actually care. I look forward to getting rejected now. That's what that confidence comes from. For
Hmm.
me personally, with doing comedy, it helped like the other stuff too. But in general, I just it's like fake it till you make it. Honestly, you just have to like believe that if you, let's say you want to talk to a girl, or if you're a girl or talking to a guy or whatever, like it's like you just have to believe that you're attractive and just be yourself. And what if someone wants you, they will want you because you're being yourself. You just have to. It has to be the right person, in my opinion. So there's gonna be a lot of failures. It's a numbers game, man. It's a numbers game, and like also there is a little bit of, you know, uh, you know, a scale of how hot you are and how good looking you are. I know it sounds shallow, but like you can
It
be
is what it is.
confident. You can be super confident and be really ugly, but still get girls or still get guys, right? And also the vice versa. Like, but like obviously, if you're like a fucking model, oh sorry, I swore.
That's
Um,
okay.
if you're a model, that stuff's easy for you. But as someone like me, who I was always obese and overweight, and like I don't think I was the best looking guy. I was just like mediocre, or whatever. I had to like be extra confident
Hmm.
and to like kind of like just to fake it a little bit, just to get to that point. And then afterwards, I realized like uh, none of that matters because if your personality sucks, then the beauty fades and it's not worth it. It's not really not worth it. So yeah, just being yourself and authentic will actually attract the right people around you, and that's what you want.
I appreciate that, man. That's actually some really solid gold because you're mentioning that you went through so much rejection, so much failure, quote unquote. And I think, that's one of the main reasons for the show because a lot of people, they go on Instagram, they see like, I don't know, uh, name X person on Instagram, drives a Maserati, has a private jet, 5 islands. And then everyone's like, man, I got to get this. And then they try to do, I don't know, Shopify, or they try to do comedy, or they try to start their business or any side hustle. And then they fail. They fail for a month, they fail for a year. And they're like, man, I'm the worst. But I think what you've just shared with us, Neema, and you're a very successful comedian. Just on Instagram alone, I believe you have over 88,000 followers, which is huge. And, you know, to hear that from you is, I think, very refreshing for a lot of our audience because it's not a message that gets pumped out too much. Everyone just says, like, hey, look at me. This was easy for me. Look at my Lamborghini Ferrari on Tuesday. And it's something that I wish more people actually honed into because it's not even the failures that are just on the path. You're mentioning that it builds your thick skin. And I think that's a part that a lot of people miss. Because another question I was going to ask you is if you could go back and just remove the failures and get to where you were now, would you do it?
No, no chance because you can't learn if you don't fail, right? You have to fail to in order to succeed, and there's no end game here. It's all just a forever process. Yeah.
I love you, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's legit though. Like it's not. I don't see my career as I'm gonna get to a certain point and that's it. Once it's just the next thing for me. Something big happens. All right, cool. It's amazing. Let's maybe celebrate if it warrants it, and then move on. Like I just want to keep going. I just want to keep doing the things I love every day for the rest of my life with the people around me who I love and who are chill and I can be around, and that's it. All I care about is the being happy doing what I'm doing. I don't even have to make a lot of money. I just want to be. I just want to comfortably do everything I want to do, and that's all I care about. Because the money part, like literally, there's a study that says the average amount of money anyone needs is like 75 grand or something like that to be happy. more than that, it's just like extra stuff that you don't really need. It's just
Hmm.
something that you would want. And I'm not in the interest of just having materialistic stuff. Like it'll be nice, of course. I would love to have a nice car, go fly first class, but only because it gets me to the thing I want to do faster or just
Hmm.
more convenient. But I don't care about the flashiness of it or showing off and stuff like that. It doesn't really matter to me. If anything, I want to give out those things to people that I care about or help them out more. It's that's more interesting to me. And yeah,
That's beautiful, man. That's something, man. You don't really hear that anymore, and
I know.
that's I vibe with that hard, Nema. Thank
Yeah,
you for
thanks. Yeah, I appreciate that.
100%. I'm
Thank
going
you.
to change gears a little bit, okay? I want to go into your transition from Nema, who just recently, left university to where you are now. Because right now you're pretty, you have a lot of followers. A lot of people know you, especially in the GTA area and all, Canada regions. I'm wondering if there's been, I guess, a difference in the way that you feel or the way that people treat you, and I guess how that experience changed. Is there a difference?
Since the beginning till now.
Yeah. Even with
Yeah,
even with friends or family compared to, where you were.
yeah, a little bit. Well, I mean, to be honest, growing up in a Persian household, as you know, there's a lot of judgment. There's a lot
Yes.
of judgment. There's a lot of, oh, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing this? Oh, you should do this. You should be obviously going to study, get a degree in engineering or lawyer or whatever, doctor, uh, get a career, and then have a family, right? So I'm like one of the only people in my family or any entire existence of my family's friends and everyone to do something that's different, like this. So obviously it's not even maybe a shock, but maybe it's a complete different thing for all those people around me, right? At the beginning, especially, like no one believed that I could do it or that I would do it, and that was a big part of why I go so hard too, is because just to prove to myself that I can do it because I've always wanted to do it, and I know I have the abilities and the talent. I just need to keep working on it and getting better every day. But also that 10% of dark energy to prove to other people and shut them up.
Mm.
To be like, I told you I could do this, and you like all the people who doubted me, or not even doubted, but just like weren't sure that this was a good idea, or they don't understand that this is like a career that I could make something out of. I want to almost throw it in everyone's face who ever thought that way, but only at 10% because the rest of it has to be on your own. It has to be internal.
Intrinsic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So otherwise, there's no reason of doing that. Or
Sure.
you're gonna lose it at some point. So yeah, from the beginning, there was a lot of like, oh, like how are you gonna make money? How are you gonna do this? Why would you do that? Man, just like do it. Have a plan B. That was one thing I heard a lot. Plan B, and that was something I'm like extremely against because
Really?
yeah, because if you have a plan B, you've already counted yourself out for the plan A. So you're already done. You're already lost, and I'm not here to lose.
My man.
I have to win. You know what I'm saying? I have to like I'll do what it takes to be the best at what I do at my craft. So and a lot of that comes from also like the Kobe Bryant because he's actually like one of my idols, and I can't believe he died, but he helped me a lot in terms of that mentality stuff going into comedy. He was one of the reasons why I got so motivated and amped up to just drop everything and do something I want to do and be great at it, just like Kobe Bryant was, right? That mama mentality, and that's the part that really got me through all these years of doubts and people saying like, no, like you should just like have plan B. I'm like, no, if I stop, if I don't put 100% effort into the thing I want to do, I'm not gonna get 100% results. And I couldn't bear living with myself that way. So like if I just told myself if I'm gonna do this, I'm going all in. There's no going back. And I've been doing that ever since. And of course, there's been so many ups and downs, more downs than ups, but slowly but surely, I'm getting more and more ups, which is what I want. And it's a slow build. Like it'll take me 10, 20 years maybe just before I get famous. You know what I'm saying? So, but I don't even care about that. I'm just saying that's how long it could take. And I'll be like, okay, I'm a fucking Sorry.
No, you're good, man. Keep going, keep going.
I get passionate about it sometimes.
No, 100%.
I listen to too much Gary Vee, clearly.
Passion.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. TikTok, and
Oh
so
man.
that's it, man. That's all I want to do, and whatever it takes to be successful, I'll do it. And that's it. You just gotta be patient.
I love it, man. And just on the anecdote of not having a plan B, I'm not sure if you've heard of this story before, but I'm not sure where it was from originally. But essentially, there was a commander. They just landed their ships on a beach. Long story short, way less men than the other army who's already on land. And the commander, instead of, saying, we're going to fight and we're going to go home, he burned the ships because that was the plan B back. Burn the ships. Now there's only one plan. If you want to see your family again, if you want to go back home, you got to win this. And the story goes that these men won. And I think that is a testament to what you've done yourself. And I fully agree. With a plan B, you're not fully committed into it. And you're always, in those hard times, you're like, yeah, I have a plan B. I'll go be a doctor. My mom says be a doctor. I'll be an engineer. All the voices in your head.
It's all those voices in your head, like, oh, it's okay. Just like, you can still go to school. You can still do this. You're already like taken away from your plan A, right? You're already not, your focus isn't 100% there. So how are you gonna get better? How are you gonna excel?
Absolutely, man. And I think that's such a vital point in anyone's journey in life, especially just with kind of the mainstream messages. Get a safe job, get married. I think we were talking about this earlier, right? And then you wanted something different. You wanted to go for what you valued in life, and that's admirable. And I think everyone should do that. I think. Yeah. The world would be such a better place if that happened. Imagine if everyone was so passionate about what they did.
It would be crazy. But that's the thing. There's so much around that stuff that, like, kind of, I don't know. There's so much to talk about there because, I don't know. I've always been. I'm not a conspiracy theorist or anything, or I'm not even like a rebellious person in the world, but I feel like I've always just been against the traditional modern values of society. I don't know. I just feel like the importance they put behind going into a 9-to-5 job and just like going home and buying things you don't need and all these like advertisements, and people get sucked into dumb things that they don't actually need just to waste money and waste time. I've always been against like the norm in a way. So maybe I am made to do this because I can't do anything else. I would lose my mind and I would throw myself off a bridge. So, I've always been against that stuff. And it kind of, I always think about like, what if everyone was like me? And I don't mean like I'm some great spectacle. I'm just saying was like me in terms of taking that risk and just doing something they wanted to do. How amazing, how much more better would the world be? Like the world is going to shit, as you can see right now. And I feel like most of it has to be because a lot of people are unhappy with their jobs and their families and the relationships they're in because they're forcing it and they're jumping into things that they're not ready for. And you know why? Because no one ever taught them the importance of mental health and focusing on themselves before anyone else. If people took the time to actually work on themselves first and then go out into the world and get a girlfriend or a boyfriend or family, get this job, that job, everything would be so much more smooth. Things would get done better and more efficiently. People wouldn't be there wouldn't be so much crime, or the list goes on, in my opinion. And it's just sad to see that people easily will give up on their dreams because of like just comfort. And I'm not in the game of comfort. I'm here to put myself through very tough and challenging situations in order to grow. And that's what majority of people in society aren't willing to do. And I've seen it firsthand with my own friends and family, obviously, and you have too, and you've probably seen it. And just overall, the sense of society of people just settling. And that's the problem. Because like the government, whoever's in power, has made it easy for people to just go on their phones all day, watch Netflix, be comfortable, sit on your couch, order Uber Eats. I've done all this. I'm saying this from experience. That's why I'm so against it. And I'm actually, I almost hate my old self for doing this stuff because it really set me back so much. And I'm actually lucky to get out of that. But I'm saying a lot of people are permanently in this mode, and then they're just living to die. Like they're not doing anything. They're just like they're getting by for no reason, and they're just like doing things that they think other people think they need to do, and that they don't think for themselves, and that's why everyone is all messed up. So
I'm gonna repeat that, Nema. You just dropped a nuke. So many people are just living to die.
yeah,
Wow.
legit.
And that hits deep, man. And I vibe with that. I mean, how many people do you know in your own personal life that have that similar experience? You know, work, come home, you know, maybe go out to dinner with their significant other, you know, Snapchat, Instagram, all that,
Yeah,
sleep, repeat, and
sleep,
then maybe
all that.
go out to a vacation they didn't even want to go just to
I
take a
know.
picture to post on Instagram.
Yeah, exactly.
Please people that really don't care
Don't give
about
a fuck.
them.
Don't give a care about the man.
And it's like I think, you know, kind of coming back to another point that you made, people don't have the ability to break free from it. But I think there needs to be a certain sense of, not sense, but a certain event or adversity that kind of pushes you out of that norm. So I'm wondering, was there an event for you that caused you to break free from the, what's that in the Matrix? They have like everyone plugged in.
Yeah,
Was there an event for you?
to just like to drop everything and do what I wanted to do.
Not necessarily that aspect, but to break free from, you know, just going to, you know, 9 to 5 or
Oh yeah, yeah.
all that kind of
Oh,
stuff.
I don't know. I've always just been against it as a I think as a kid.
Yeah.
I've always been rebellious against doing schoolwork and having to be, I don't know, on time for a test or a
Hmm.
exam or doing homework and listening to what my teacher has to say about the Pythagorean theorem. Like, even though I get it, it's
Yeah.
cool, but what am I going to do with this? I don't care about this.
Yeah.
Why am I learning this? I've always, in my mind, I've always thought that. I never really understood it until later, obviously. But I just from what I remember, even when I was in grade 6, 7, and 8, I remember I was always just like, like I gotta go to school again, do this same boring homework and schoolwork. When I just want to have fun, I always just had the knack to want to have fun. I've always just wanted to have fun, and like, why is that? Why is that a bad thing? Like, why are we all like stuck on? Why is everyone always against? Oh, you can't have too much fun, or you're lazy, or you're this,
Hmm.
or you're dumb. I'm like, I'm smarter than most of you guys, so shut
Yeah.
your mouth.
Yeah.
And I'm actually happier than all of you. So what are you talking about, right? So it's all BS, right?
Hmm.
It's all just the voices that have been feeding into their brains over
Yeah.
time in their lives, from their parents, from society, from
Yeah.
media, of no, this is the right thing to do. This is only recreational time is after school
Yeah.
for an hour, and that's it. And then go back home, do homework, suffer, wake up early in the morning. Why are we waking up so goddamn early to go to school? You can't function after like right away. You
Yeah.
have to give someone like a 3-4 hours. That's what I do every day now, man. I have a routine where I need 3-4 hours before I start doing any career stuff.
Okay.
I need the first 3-4 hours of my days for me, from as a human, to
Wow.
get my mind right before I actually think about comedy. I don't think about comedy right away. Like, you can't. You can. I would. There's no way I'd be able to put out all this content and material if I didn't focus on myself before the work I'm doing. So same thing goes for education, like in school. It's like imagine because like school usually would start at 8 a.m. right, roughly
Yep.
average. Everyone would start at 8 a.m. Are you insane? No kid is waking up at 7:30 a.m. going to class and then like learning stuff about biology at 8 in the morning, right? Like it's in if anything they should have like recreational time for the first 2-3 hours. Go work out, go meditate. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like read.
Yeah.
Like there should be more importance on those things, not just
Yeah.
like academics. Like not everyone's an academic person. Like I'm not. I'm an artistic person. There's
For
no
sure.
there's no like playtime. Like I know it sounds like childish, but everyone needs playtime, even if they're 40 or 2. Like everyone wants to have fun, right?
Yeah.
Your natural as a human being, your natural thought process is always, oh man, you just want to like do fun things, right? You want that dopamine, like you just want
Hmm.
to do more fun things, but you always have to suppress it for work, for school, for this and that, and meetings and going overtime shit. Like it's crazy. And I was always, for some reason, I don't know how, I was super aware of these things at a very young age. Maybe I'm a 1 in a million person. I don't know. Maybe I have just like I'm one of those rare cases where I've always just kind of been self-aware about what's going on, and I don't know, I just kind of knew what to do
Took the red
naturally,
pill
and
at
I
birth.
followed my gut. I followed my gut more than anything. I really follow my gut more than anything.
I love it,
Like
man.
that's the main thing. Like you have to trust your instincts.
I love it, man. And you brought a lot of points there with regards to, like everyone consuming all this media. Have you heard of the mere exposure effect by any chance?
The mirror exposure?
The mere exposure.
No, what's that?
So essentially, it's a psychological concept where the more you see someone or something or an advertisement, the more you're to grow an affinity to it.
Right. Yeah.
Now, with regards to that, all these people seeing the same thing on the news, seeing the same thing on Instagram, seeing the same thing as the majority of people, they're very similar to one another. And the more similarities you have with one another, it's easier to click.
Yeah.
And I think one of the reasons why it's so hard to see things from a different perspective is because there's very limited amount of people. I don't know if you could agree with me on here that would see it from your perspective. And I agree with your
Sure.
perspective
100%.
fully. And it's really a shame because I don't think a lot of people understand that, especially, with us. Like we kind of grew up with social media. Like when we're, I don't know, grade 5 or 6, like going to class, lol, post on Facebook status back in those
MSN.
days.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it's like we don't even understand what we were doing at that time, and
Yeah.
I think it's such a gradual slope
I
that it
know.
just becomes the norm, and you don't think about it.
Legit.
So, yeah,
And
that's it.
yeah, they're like it's observational learning. It's another thing where, as a kid, you see your parents act a certain way. Eventually, over time, you start picking up on mannerisms and actions that they have done over the years in front of you, and that's why people take on certain like mental trauma from their parents because like growing up with your parents yelling at you or hitting you or whatever it is, you're gonna start doing those things when you get older, naturally, right? It's observational learning, and and then when you see that, you think that's normal.
Yeah.
That's why you do that when you're older. You think, oh well, my parents did this, so this is what that is, right? But
Mm-hmm.
no, it's not. That's just something that you've been taught just from them, but they don't even know any better because they learned it from their parents and their parents.
Yep.
So it's up to you as a person to really like understand yourself and understand what's really the right thing to do in what situation for you.
Yep.
And stop following what other people have to say because you're never going to get anywhere. You're not going to be happy. You're going to be miserable. And the biggest pain in the world is regretting everything you could have done in your life.
Biggest pain.
And yeah, so for me, I'm very happy and grateful to come out of that shell of taking after my parents, like negative attributes, right? There's so many things I could have picked up from them, and I still do now, but I'm conscious of it, and I'm doing my best to work on it and kind of get out of that mindset and the habits and stuff like that, right? So, but a lot of people don't realize that, and they don't even work on that. So obviously, they're bad partners, they're bad
Mm-hmm.
parents, they're bad friends, and it's just like an ongoing vicious cycle. And they have kids, and then their kids learn that. You know what I'm saying? And that's crazy. Like how powerful the mind is.
It is very crazy, and that was deep. I'm
Yeah,
just wondering, with
that's what all
regards
the time.
to taking care of the things that we've encountered in our life, and I think every single person has trauma, maybe varying
Yeah,
degrees and things, but how can someone do that? Is it exclusively going through, like mental health services, counseling, psychology, et cetera, or is there writing? What's something that you could offer to our audience as a tip to go through this if you have any experience here?
yeah. Well, for me, I'm lucky to have my brother who is also on that same level of like self help.
Gotcha.
It's really I'm really grateful to have an older brother to who also like we help each other out. We talk a lot. There's a lot of transparency going on, right? A lot of opening up and being vulnerable helps a lot with another person that you trust, and keeping each other accountable. Extreme ownership too. You know what I'm saying? Like when
Gotcha.
when something goes wrong, like to not blame others and kind of take responsibility for it. That stuff really helps. And also, yeah, like reading a lot of books and listening to audio books and podcasts of different people and how they've gone onto their path and what they do to help their minds and get through their lives. That's what helped me and my brother a lot. And we're always in that self-help mode together. But I think it's super important because without being aware of your surroundings and your mindset and just having a good function of your brain every day, you can't excel in anything else you're doing. You have to really understand what's going on and talk through these things. And being transparent with anybody that you're talking to is the most key thing that I've learned, is just keeping communication open. That really helps a lot. And there's a bunch of other things that I do too, like I journal. I type out my thoughts every morning when I wake up. It's your brain is the freshest in the morning, right? So you want to kind of get rid of all those anxieties and stresses right away. And I journal on my notepad on my computer. You know what I'm saying? Like it could be anywhere. You could write it, you could type it, or meditation. Meditation's a big one, obviously. A lot of people are doing more of, which is nice. And talking to people too, that helps a lot. That's pretty much most of it, honestly. And the biggest thing is exercise, obviously, in the mornings.
Yep.
It's like the number one thing to really get your mood up, and kind of it's relaxing throughout the rest of your day.
Definitely. And we actually had a guest on our show, Dr. John Rady. Is a Harvard psychiatrist, and he wrote a book called Spark. This book is absolutely revolutionary. I think you'd really like it, actually.
Oh, yeah?
It essentially talks about how aerobic exercise is one of the best things you can do for mental health.
Mm-hmm.
And we're talking from, like depression to PTSD. So it's something that I'm very passionate about, promoting exercise for, mental health benefits. But it's very important when we're talking about mental health, for everyone listening. You can't go somewhere if you don't know where you're starting. And through journaling, through talking with your friends, your family, listening to how other individuals figure out who they are as a person and how much they have to uncover about themselves from, trauma or other experiences that have happened, it allows you to figure out who you are and how to get to your next destination. If you want to be, like with your goal, Neema, you want to be the top comedian, you want to change the world, which I hope you do, because you're freaking awesome, man. You got to figure out where you are, and through your journaling, through your talks, that's the only way you can do it. And I think that is vital. Now, Neema, I'd love to talk on this topic a little bit more, but I know you're super, super busy pumping out content. And there is a couple of other questions I wanted to ask you. So do you think we can change gears a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no worries. Yeah.
Right on. We'll pull up that e-brake for a little slide. And I'm wondering for this, Neema. So with cancel culture, the comedy scene is a very dynamic place. And as someone who does accents, which I personally enjoy, because I know you're coming from a good place and you're just trying to make people happy, I'm wondering if you're ever worried about, getting canceled or getting some negative exposure, even though you're coming from it at a good place and you're not trying to, hurt anyone.
Right. I could put it in simple terms of I don't care. I don't care what people think. That already like ends it all. Like if people try to cancel me, go ahead. I'm gonna continue posting videos every day. There's not as long as I know my intention, and I know I'm just here to make people laugh. Nothing else matters. I've gone way too much of my life caring about what other people think, and holding back because what is this person gonna think? What's this person gonna think? Right? Naturally, you have that mindset about everything growing up. But for me, I'm at a point where I've put in so much work and effort into the thing I love. There's no way I'm letting anyone take that away from me. I don't care what happens. I don't care if people try to cancel me for the dumbest thing. It doesn't matter to me. All I know is I know my intention. I'm here to make people laugh, bring some joy to their day. That's what makes me happy. If you want to cancel me, go ahead. But you have no context about my life. No one knows more context than I do. Or if you live with me, obviously, but even then. So that's the problem with cancel culture. They have no context on what's actually happening. They just see a headline or a thing, and they're like, "Oh, this person's a bigot, homophobe, racist." But the list goes on, right? So that's what happens when people. And the funniest part is those people are the most insecure people too, because they're either jealous or envious, or They know they don't have the same talents or the abilities to do what that person's doing, and they're insecure about their own lives, or they care about what other people think about them. So if they don't talk about it, then they're a bad person, right? It's just like a chain of events that goes on through these people's minds, which is idiotic. And these people are weak, who try to cancel you. They're weak-minded.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not subscribed to the channel of weakness. I'm not here to interact with people who are weak. It's not my problem. So it sounds a little harsh, but it's the truth, and I can't care because it's there's
You can't go forward.
There's no black and white here.
Yeah.
It's like either this is bad or this is good. There's no black and white. Okay.
Yeah.
There's always gray area. There's always things that you don't know.
For sure.
So you can't be definitive every single time when you see something. You can't.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. Otherwise, you're the problem. So the cancel culture thing is, we thought about it a lot. My brother and I talk a lot, obviously, about this stuff, and we come to the conclusion every time that no matter what you do, like I said before, people are always going to hate on you. So it doesn't even matter. It's like you can't please everyone, right? You can't do things that everyone's going to like always. Every single video I've ever posted in my 6 years, hundreds, probably thousands at this point, there's always been someone who had something to say about it. Always some person saying, "Oh, this is racist. Oh, this is bad. Oh, you're a bad person. You're a bigot. Oh, you shouldn't do this. This is insensitive. This is insensitive." I'm like, if I listen to every single person on every single post, what am I left to do? Nothing. So I completely block all that shit out.
Gotcha.
I don't worry about it. I know my purpose. I know my intention. I'm only here to spread the positivity, and when people take it the wrong way, the opposite way, that's on them. They just don't have context, and it's as easy as that. Because I also don't pay attention a lot to the I don't really care as much from the positive side either. I get a lot of positivity, right? A lot of great engagement. People support heavy, which is amazing. But I also don't get too strung up on that stuff either, because once you start feeding in just the positivity,
Yeah.
you get tunnel vision, right? You just think, oh, everything's great. You have to also look at, you have to kind of zoom out.
Whole picture.
Yeah, you got to see everything from the outside, and don't never forget what your path is, because once you get too caught up into the positivity and like, oh, do this, oh, this is great, you start getting in your ego and you think, oh, I'm amazing, I'm this and that, right? And then you kind of get comfortable and you stop working as hard. So for me, I don't listen to both sides. I appreciate the positive side. I don't give a shit about the negatives, but I notice both. But I don't get caught up on either side. So
Gotcha.
it's a very tough thing to really like understand and really implement into your life. But once you get it, honestly, like, things have become so much easier and smoother. And
Definitely.
it really, once you have that clarity of where you're going, like, nothing's gonna get in your way. Like, nothing will stop me. And it's like that's how passionate I am about that.
Wow, I love that, Neema.
Yeah.
And when you're mentioning about not paying attention to either side, I think there's a vital point here. A lot of people, want to be Instagram famous, especially influencers, right? Because that's going to be like, they're going to be promoting products and they need to have that retention. They literally become, in my opinion, a machine for their audience, and they lose their authenticity. But the fact that you're not paying attention to either side, Neema, you get to keep who you are. You get to keep pumping out who you are. And I think that's such a vital point, because I feel like for a lot of, social media, a lot of people want to be like, I don't know, million followers and all that. But to do that, sometimes they have to get their soul. They have to give away their soul. They're literally giving that to get more attention. Maybe, okay, these guys really like this post, so I'm just going to exclusively make this content. But you don't like that really much, and you just did a one-off because you're feeling it.
Yeah.
And I think that's just such an important point, not only in social media, but in life, to realize that, okay, this guy gave me a compliment, cool. This guy didn't like me, cool. I'm going to be me. And I think that takes such a level of introspection, confidence, experience, going through the failures that you have that kind of gave you this understanding. And it's so mature, man. Like, I'm so happy to hear this from you. Yeah, man. I really vibe with that hard.
That's good. I appreciate that. And Yeah, I feel like a lot of people could get to that point too, but they're not willing to, and that they're not willing to really double down and work for what they want. They always try to get the shortcuts nowadays, right? So I'm not in that game to do that. I'm not here. I'm here for the long run. So um, I'm I'm not here to get quick clout or get
Yep.
famous right away. If it happens, it happens. But I'm not forcing anything. I don't want to do that. And also the people who like you said, want to get Instagram famous or whatever, like they do all these ads too that really kind of dumbs down their brand and it loses value. I'm not here to do that either, right? It's like you never want to take attention away from your audience. That's not
Mm,
that's not directly from your creativity because it kind of starts looking like a commercial every 2 seconds, right? People promoting these dumb ads of like just to get a quick buck, right?
yep.
And I don't care how broke I am, I'll never do that.
No.
I've been broke for years, but when I have been making a little bit money more and more through private events or doing private shows or like cameos and stuff like that, I've invested it back into the brand. A lot of people just get the money and they spend it on dumb shit. I don't care about that stuff, right? I just want to keep investing back into the cycle, into the brand where we can continue doing what we're doing and keep moving forward, right? Just add to the car, keep adding to the car, and that's the problem with a lot of people. They just like get a quick sponsorship and they like, oh yeah, they take like 5 different sponsorships in 2 weeks, and I'm like, it loses all value. No one wants to watch this stuff anymore. As a consumer, when I
Hmm.
see that, it turns me off.
Next.
And next, yeah, I don't care. It's like kind of like, oh, well, it kills it for me because you're like not selling out, I guess. Yeah, maybe a different word for selling out, but something like that, right?
Yeah.
And they just like you can just tell they're doing it for the wrong reasons. But yeah, for me, like what's worked for me is just having that cool factor of like this guy just fucking posts shit that he loves and that thinks is funny, and that's it. Like I'm just here to like put stuff out for free. I'm gonna always put out stuff out for free. The, when I want to make money the right way, it's when people come to my live shows or they buy merch at the shows or I want to do things in a creative way and not just like here put my name on a t-shirt and sell it, right? I want to make it worth it. I want to make it special for people, and I think that really goes a way further away, much longer way than the shortcuts, and that's what you want. I feel like you'll get way bigger supporters that way, and like diehard fans for life, and that's really awesome.
Absolutely. And in every event in life, you don't want to just win the battle. You want to win the war. So you don't
Yeah,
want to just, go for that quick, I don't know, let's say $1,000 sponsorship from X brand to lose out on
even
that,
more. Yeah, yeah,
I don't know, million followers who actually appreciate you posting your own genuine content. And
yeah,
I
for sure.
I think that's vital. Nima, just on the time, I'm just gonna ask one more question before we go to our closing remarks. And that's, let's say you have an ideal world. Where do you see yourself? Tell me about everything.
An ideal world.
So let's go, let's say 3 years into the future. Let's say you've hit every goal that you want to hit. Where is Nema?
Honestly, touring the world doing stand-up comedy in front of sold-out stadiums, theaters, clubs, just doing what I love, touring and just traveling to everywhere in the world, seeing cool places, trying new things, new foods, meeting new people, and obviously I have my own podcast, so I want to interview like so many other interesting people around the world too, and um, and doing all this with the right team behind me, a team of people that I have now, um, just just doing things together and excelling every day. And that's all I care about. I just want to, and I also want to like just take care of the people around me that I love. I want everyone to be comfortable and happy, and that's it.
I love it, man. That's beautiful. Well, I'm hoping that
Yeah.
time comes soon because I'll hope to join you on one of the stadiums that are sold out.
Hell yeah,
Hopefully get
man.
that front row seat, see my man
Yeah,
Nema in person.
definitely, bro. I would appreciate that.
100%. And just on time, I would love to talk more, but you are busy. I'm
Nah,
just
thank you.
wondering, what is your one message to the audience, Nema? It can be on anything we talked about today. Any thoughts that you had lingering that you wish I asked that I didn't, or anything in general that you're feeling?
Honestly, yeah, just I don't know who your viewers are or what they're into, but like honestly, like something I always reiterate is, um, being yourself is like just like the best thing you could do, honestly. And I'm not even just talking about with your career stuff or but just in general in life, you will attract the right people by just being yourself. You don't know it yet, but it'll happen when it happens. And I think that's the key right there to life. And yeah, man, like it's okay to do bad and be bad at what you're doing. As long as you love it and you have a passion for it, you should just go for it. Honestly, like taking the risk is such a rush, and it's like one of the most fun and exciting things I've ever done in my life. And I could never go back to the old life. And just worry about your health. Honestly, without physical health, you have nothing. So you have to get your body right and your mind right, or else you're done. And you don't want to do that because you don't want to be 40 and have back pain every day and taking pills and all that BS, right? You want to thrive. I don't want to just be good. I want to thrive. And so taking that stuff seriously, having routines, having a planner. Like I have a planner here, like a high performance planner I use every day. I schedule things in. I have two big calendars in the back of my basement laid out like 2 months in advance. All that stuff matters, like scheduling your time to just have lunch, scheduling time to pet your dog, like stuff like that actually matters. Like, and people don't realize it, that you by not writing things down and planning your days out, you don't realize how much time you're wasting doing nonsense things. So, and I'm speaking from experience. I used to waste 8 hours a day just scrolling on my phone. Now I barely hit an hour and a half, and I'm not even scrolling. I'm actually using it for business. So it's like it's all within you. It's all your choice to make these things happen. It's all up to you. You just have to take ownership. Everything is your fault. Everything is your fault, and you're doing. So once you realize that, once you start realizing that every things can change, and you it's in your control to do that, but you will thrive. And also make content. That's it.
Bam. Nema,
Yeah.
that was awesome, man.
Also, and don't be a stupid.
Don't be a stupid. Okay.
Yeah,
Maybe don't talk to Babak sometime.
Talk to Bobak. He will tell you are very idiot.
Okay. Maybe
Okay.
sometime. Only Wednesday.
Only Wednesday. Sometimes you are stupid. Sometimes you are smart, but mostly stupid.
I love it, Nema. So Nema, where can people find you on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube? What's your handles?
Well, I got banned on TikTok permanently, so
Oh
I don't
man.
know about that, but I don't know. Maybe I'll get my account back one day. But it's Neema Naz on every platform. Instagram, YouTube. I post daily vlogs on YouTube. I post daily content on Instagram. Average two posts a day. And right now I'm just doubling down on those ones, and obviously TikTok goes around, and yeah, that's it.
Right on. And where can people buy your merchandise, Nema?
Oh, I don't have any merch right now.
No merch?
No merch. Yeah, it's too early right now to do that.
Gotcha.
I feel like it'll be too cheap to do it right now. It's not the right time.
Gotcha.
But eventually I will. And also I post 2 to 3 podcast episodes a week on my podcast, Straight and Curly.
Mhm.
It's on Spotify, all the audio streaming platforms. We'll be doing video soon too. So
Perfect. So we're going to be putting all the links down in the bio to catch Nema on all the platforms and his podcast. And with that said, Nema, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. I really vibe with the way that you have your outlook on life. I am very impressed, actually, on how you view your goals, on your ambition, on health. I really appreciate our time, and I know the listeners did too. So thanks so much for coming on, my man.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you, Parham. And shout out Personal Process, baby.
Let's go.
Let's get
And
it.
to the viewers and listeners, thanks for joining on the next one, and we'll check you on the outro. Hey everyone, Parham back after another amazing episode with another amazing guest. We hope we added value into your life so you could take the tips from this episode and fuel your process forward. If you enjoyed our episode today and think other friends or family members may also appreciate the lessons that our podcast brings, be sure to share us with them. subscribe, and rate our show so we know how we did. And always remember, trust the process.